Personally, one of my biggest personal red flags that it's an absolute hard no is if I'm waiting for someone to become who I want them to be. It never works. People are who they are. We have to meet people where they're at. That's it. So whether it's lack of financial stability or any other thing, lack of emotional maturity, lack of work ethic, lack of communication skills, like some of those things you can wait for like a minute.
Woman, what's the bigger red flag? You sitting around and doing nothing and waiting for a man to change for you, or you demanding that a man change himself in order to be the kind of man that you want? This whole concept that men need to change in order to please you is nothing but downright insulting. It just goes to show that you're demanding and that no matter what a man does, he will never be good enough for you because he doesn't fit this idealized picture that you have in your head that you can't even describe because those demands are constantly changing. Even if a man meets every single one of your standards, he'll still not be good enough. You'll just find another reason to be pissed off at him. And meanwhile, you just sit there and think that every single one of your imperfections is perfectly reasonable and men just need to live with it. So why should men bother? You are telling men to put in a whole bunch of work to completely change who they are to please you, and you're not even willing to get up to make them a sandwich. So what's the friggin' point? I'll give you a hint, sister. There is none.
If someone's very actively engaged in the process, like they're in motion, you can see measurable change, and it's not because of you, they were already doing it anyhow, maybe. But generally speaking, this is how women end up in relationships that are a really poor fit and how we self-sabotage. So I say you need to investigate a little further, but the waiting for someone to become,
Well, bye.
Don't sell yourself short there, sweetheart. You will self-sabotage the relationship no matter what. Let's go ahead and just say, for the sake of argument, that you do meet a man who put in the work and meets every single one of your standards. You will feel so uncomfortable that you will look for the tiniest excuse to resent this man. It's one of the biggest reasons why men have walked away from dating. We're kind of tired of being told that we're not good enough when we've been putting in a shitload of work to try to become better people, but not to please you. We couldn't care less about what you think. We're doing it for ourselves, and you're just along for the ride. Well, maybe not you specifically. I can't see a man lowering his standards that low. No man wants to deal with a woman who demands that he must change in order to be with her. It already tells us everything we need to know about you. You're incapable of showing respect, but you are capable of overinflating your ego to the point where it's just absolutely ridiculous. And I'm sorry, sister, we don't feel like dealing with that anymore.
I quit. I quit.
5 non-negotiables when you're considering dating someone. And if someone has one of these 5 things, I will not even consider going on a date with them. It's a no from me. Number 1, coming in hot with the job scenario. If they don't have a full-time, steady job, something that they're going to pursue in the future, or an idea of what they're going to pursue in the future, I do not want to go for someone that is lost and confused, because I'm also lost and confused. So we're all going to be lost and confused, and that's going to go nowhere.
Give me some money. Give me some money.
Okay, so in other words, money. You want a man with a high-paying job that makes lots of money where he can get promoted to make even more money. Because I know a lot of guys who have full-time employment with jobs that they like, and they aren't exactly prestigious. I actually know a ton of good guys who manage grocery stores and sell stuff, and they aren't interested in becoming high-level managers. They are perfectly content with where they are. They're fully employed, fully insured, and they're just happy where they're at in life. Those are the types of men that you can't stand. You always expect men to be working harder and to make more money because then you can use them for said money. But no, we work hard to keep our money. We're not about to waste it on you. It's a bottomless pit that's lined with designer clothes you never wear and empty bottles of wine that you consume on a concerning level. We know waste when we see it, sister, and you are a gigantic waste. And no, I'm not just talking about money.
Number 2, over 6 feet. I am 5'9.5". I want to wear heels when we're out, and I still want to feel like I'm with my man when I'm out, okay? So if he is not taller than me when I'm in heels, Jimmy, it's a no for me. Number 3, dear God, please like working out or fitness, because I love working out. So if you are not into that, we cannot be gym buddies. And if we cannot be gym buddies, we cannot be buddies outside of a friendship. So you better be into fitness or you better be into a sport.
No, and I don't
care. All right, I'm kind of confused here because you said that this was a surefire list of red flags that women need to avoid in order to find a successful relationship, and all you've mentioned is money, must be over 6 feet, and must be athletic. How are those red flags? I mean, there are plenty of dudes out there who are under 6 foot who are some damn fine gentlemen and gents, and you aren't willing to give them the time of day because you want to wear high heels. And we all know that you're not wearing high heels for that man. You're doing it because you want the attention, not only from him, but from complete strangers whenever you walk into a room. Why should a man want to deal with that? These aren't red flags so much as they are just an archetype for this man that doesn't exist. He must be rich, over 6 feet, and ripped like Jesus. That's all you have mentioned so far. But the best part is you think men are actually paying attention because you think that there's a man out there who's actually interested in you, and I'm here to tell you, sister, nobody gives a crap.
Number 4, I really hope they are funny, and they have to be funny because I laugh a lot and I love to laugh. So if you make me laugh, it's a good sign. And I'm not that easy to deal with. But if they make me laugh, it is working in their benefit, as if, you know, I'm in a little bit of a bad mood. They can make me laugh and it's great. So make me laugh and I'm yours.
No.
I wouldn't go so far to say as you're funny, but you're definitely funny looking, so I guess that kinda counts, but it really doesn't. You have just made yourself completely unappealing by saying that you are not easy to deal with, and men don't want women who openly admit that they're not easy to deal with. That's not a relationship. It's a pain in the ass, and men have enough of those. And once again, you've just added another impossibility to this archetype of yours. Rich, ripped, tall, and must be able to make you laugh. But lady, I don't think there's a man on earth that actually wants to hear that type of cackling. You're ending every single one of these things with saying if you don't meet these standards, then you're not interested. But why should a man be interested in you? You really should make that the focus of all of these things, because if a man is going to go out of his way to do any of those things, you have to give him a reason to do so. And lady, you failed on that on every single account so far.
Okay. Last but not least, good smile, kind smile. And this is one of the same. They have to have a kind smile, as if it's a smile and you look at it and you want to smile too. But second of all, they have to have a good smile. I've worked a lot on these teeth, okay? You need to work on yours, and if you don't have it, that's fine. That's totally fine. We're just probably not meant to be. So good luck out there.
I'll just move to North Korea. I'll just move to North Korea. Okay? Okay. I'll just move to North Korea.
You know what, lady? I'm going to be generous and I'm going to meet you halfway. I totally agree. Dental health is essential for your physical health. And gentlemen and gents out there, you really do need to be taking good care of your teeth, but not to please this succubus. There's no point in doing that. Dental health is one of those things where if you put it on the back burner, you're going to pay for it later. But you should be taking care of your teeth for you and your future. Not to please this broad, there's no doing that. Your problem, woman, is that you are focusing far too much on the physical aesthetic of this man and not exactly any of the qualities. You just want someone who looks good and will make you laugh, but yeah, that's not really worth it. So I guess I'm just going to have to live with the fact that we're not meant to be, and I could not be more thankful. The intergalactic space god Whipsley Goomlicard, all hail, is just showing us that life is the gift that just keeps on giving. All hail!
There's the door, why don't you check it out?
And there's no time like the present to shine a light on the fine members of the Bounty Board over on Patreon for their continued generosity in support of my work. Gentlemen and gents, the universe is truly a better place with you guys existing, so thank you so much. All hail! And if you're interested in supporting my work, check out the Bounty Board over on Patreon, where for $5 a month, you can get access to exclusive content that you're not going to find on YouTube. I post up there twice a week, and it's a great way to support the channel at a low price. The link is in the pinned comment down below. Thank you so much for your support.
I got my phone stolen out of my hand at the festival that I was at over the weekend. So my phone was open because I was in the crowd with like my phone up like this, and someone just took it out of my hand. So I was freaking out because, you know, there's a lot of stuff on my phone that I wouldn't really want a random stranger seeing. And I'm guessing they went on like my apps, on my TikTok and everything like that. And then recently someone messaged me on TikTok being like, I rescued your phone. Like, I stole it off the guy that stole it from you. So like, you can come get it from me. Like, here's my address. So I was like, thank God. Like, I didn't like think very straight. I was just really happy to get my phone back, to be honest.
I can see down your shirt.
Well, I think we all know that Titania here has been taught a life lesson that she will refuse to learn, and that is maybe, just maybe, you shouldn't be keeping illicit stuff on your phone in the event that it gets stolen. But we all know that lesson falls on deaf ears because, well, let's just face it here, it's not like there's anything going on up in that skull of hers. But what I personally find entertaining is how she just immediately believes that some random dude rescued her phone, tracked her down on TikTok, and then sent her a message saying that he has her phone and is willing to give it to her. I mean, come on, lady, how dense do you have to be? At no point have you asked any questions that might be important, like, how do you know my phone was stolen? And how did you unlock my phone to find out it was mine? These are questions that are kind of important that you are just going to completely ignore because your life is centered around that stupid phone of yours.
So I was like, okay, I'm coming, and I don't know why, but I came to him in my pajamas. I really don't know why. So I went to his house that was in downtown Los Angeles, knocked on the guy's door, and what he doesn't recognize, or what he doesn't know, is that I seen the guy that stole my phone, and it was him. He didn't rescue my phone, he stole my phone, and now he's giving me it back. I don't know why. He gave me it back, and he was like, yeah, I went on your TikTok, and I seen you've got like 100 drafts, so you've got to get them posted. And I'm just like, do you know what? I am fine with the fact that you stole my phone, but the fact that you've seen my TikTok drafts.
A smelly fish.
And it's not a cod.
Woman, your story has more holes in it than a lump of Swiss cheese at a worm factory. I mean, come on, lady. You don't expect us to believe any of this, do you? You mean to tell us that somebody stole your phone and you did not get the authorities involved? You never called the police and you never tried to search for it or anything like that? You just randomly believed that some random guy just messaged you out of the blue to give you back your phone, and it just so happened to be the very same guy that stole it, and you instantly forgave him because he was a fan? Yeah, I'll believe that story during the reign of Queen Dick. We all know what's going on here. Your life is just so empty and meaningless that content creation is the only thing you have going for you, so you have to fabricate these fake stories just to get some attention for your dumbass TikTok page. You can't even make your stories remotely interesting or even compelling. You're just focusing too much on those artificially created flotation devices you had surgically applied to your chest.
It's a fake.
I always think it's funny when guys are like, well, what would you do for me? And I'm like, what do you mean, what would I do for you? Obviously nothing. Like, what do you mean, what would I do for you? Like, are you the girl? Are you the girl princess? What do you want? What do you want? What can I do for you? Ew, literally, what can you do for me? That's the reframe. That's how you should be thinking. What can I do for her? For her. Because I don't believe men were worshipped. No, it was the women. The women, if we go back in history, I know we failed that class. God, I don't even know if we showed up. And by we, I mean you. I definitely went. I failed, but I went.
What?
Woman, we already know that you failed history class and you most likely had to do some degrading stuff just to get that worthless piece of paper you call a diploma. Because if you actually did study history, you would know that the greatest historical achievements were achieved by men. Battles were won by men. Cities were built by men. Profound philosophical concepts were thought up by men. We actually owe quite a bit to those men. We don't really worship women because, well, let's face it, there's nothing to worship. Yes, we do appreciate women, and I would even be so bold to say that we do need women just as much as women need men. I know, what a concept, right? You are just so focused on what men can do for you, even though men have made it obvious that we don't want anything to do with you. To devote our time and our energy and loyalty to you would be nothing short of a complete and utter waste.
And I know that the women were worshipped. The women The men wanted to marry the women. The men showed up with gifts. They showed up with offerings. They said, I have these things. I can provide. I can do for her. Let me marry her. That's how it used to be. I don't know. We lost the plot somewhere. Somewhere we lost the plot. I'm not sure when the fuck that happened, but I don't subscribe to the new plot. I'm back in like fucking 500 BC or wherever the fucking time zone was, where the men showed up with gifts and offerings.
Woman, if you were back in 500 BC, you would either die of exposure or be burned at the stake for heresy. Men were only willing to make offers for women who were actually worth a damn, and sister, you're pretty much worthless. These were women who would devote their lives to their men. She would cook for him, she would clean for him, she would take care of him and his children, but you're not willing to do any of that. You're pretty much sitting there saying, gimme, 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 gimme. Give me everything, and maybe, just maybe, I'll give you a smidgen of attention when I'm not on my period, but I am always on my period, so don't hold your breath. You're looking at a relationship as a one-sided thing, where the man must sacrifice everything in order to please you, but you are not even taking a second to consider that you actually have to offer something to the man in order for him to want you. And by going on camera and saying that you're not willing to do anything unless that man gives everything to you, you're pretty much just saying what we already know, and that is you are completely undesirable in almost every capacity.
If your hands are swinging, nothing in hand, you can turn around and go home. You can literally turn around and go home. I'm sure somebody else would love the offerings that you're bringing, which are fucking nothing. I need the things. I like the things. The things make me happy. They make me say, oh, okay, I can speak to you now. That's what they do. That's what they do. You have to pay the entrance fee for my life. Yes, you do. Pay the entrance fee, pay a fee, any fee, literally anything. But be bringing something. Because you, just how you are, it's not enough. However, and this is like where we lose the plot so much when I talk about this, because again, women provide in not tangible ways.
I don't think any of that's true.
Well, I guess a blind squirrel finds a nut every once in a while, because I completely agree. You have absolutely nothing to offer, not even in a non-tangible sense. You're looking at men and saying that you will only be interested if you can set the terms for a transaction. That's all this is. It is transactional. You are for sale, and in order for you to give a man any form of attention or affection, he must buy you. That's what this is. You're saying that you are only interested in men if they give you things. You know, there is a word for that. There's a word for a woman who's willing to sell her body and her time to a guy in exchange for some sort of a gain. And if only I knew that word off the top of my head. I guess it's just really escaping me because the YouTube algorithm will put me in trouble if I actually do say that. So I'm just gonna say that you have the mentality of your friendly neighborhood avenue stroller.
Okay, we don't provide materialistically. That's not how we contribute to the world, society, and our relationships at whole. We listen, we advise. Some women even pray over their men. Okay, those women are excellent women. I'm only praying over a man that has named a yacht over me and has given me a rock on my finger the size of my fucking eyeball. I'll pray over that man, no fucking problem. God, we're good. We're locked in. He's gonna tell me when that guy has arrived and when I can pray over him.
Blasphemer! You know what, woman? I believe that you believe what you're saying, even though you do absolutely none of those things. You don't show any man any form of respect because you're on TikTok constantly bashing them and talking ill of them because they're not giving you shiny things. You don't listen, you gaslight. You don't advise, you demand. And you don't nurture, you just look at that man and tell him that if he needs any form of affection, then he's just being a soft coward. Meanwhile, you're sitting there and saying that you will only care about a man if he gives you a yacht and an impossible diamond ring. And this is deeply concerning, considering that if a woman is praying for her man, it's because she cares about him, and you're only willing to care about a man if you're making some money out of the deal. Now, I may not be the most Christian man on the face of the planet, but I really don't think religion works that way.
Until then, I'm praying over me until you have proved that you are worthy and deserving of that kind of nurturing, okay? To nurture a man in like this spiritual realm, in like the fucking world that he doesn't even know it exists. That's the thing. Do you know what I mean? We are tapped into the world as a whole, to nature, okay? To the other realms, okay? We carry a portal between our legs. And you think that I am going to give to you spiritually, where you can physically see it in the tangible realm, and you think you're not going to give to me? Okay, you're smoking crack.
Say what now? What now?
Yep, you're definitely an avenue stroller. You literally just said it. You're talking about what you're packing betwixt your legs, and that's what a man gets after he buys you. That is literally how avenue strolling works, lady. And I really don't think it's fair for you to be saying that you are the spiritual medium when all you do is talk gibberish while bashing men. If a man truly does care about his woman, he will move mountains for her. But you aren't worth that kind of effort. I'm not even willing to kick a rock down the street in your name. I feel too guilty about uprooting that rock's place and then moving it to someplace strange and different. And just the idea of doing that riddles me with guilt. Men are only willing to offer their hearts and resources to a woman who truly deserves it, and sister, you don't fit that bill in the slightest. You're loud, foul-mouthed, and incredibly entitled, and no man wants to deal with that, but you are so self-absorbed that you're willing to worship yourself, so this begs the question, who's the real crack smoker? And that's gonna do it for today's video, gentlemen and gents. And as always, if you find that my particular brand of comedy is bringing you to the brink of laughter, then why don't you scroll on down and click that like and subscribe button. Ring the notification bell, leave a couple of comments, and be sure to share this video so we can give the good old-fashioned middle finger to the YouTube algorithm. Thank you so much for checking out the new video, gentlemen and gents, and until next time, peace out, homies.